Good evening. Thanks for coming. We didn't know what to expect as far as crowd-wise, but glad we have a mix of some parents, and we've got the mayor here, so this must be an important Ms. Winkley's been working hard on getting this set up. We've talked about this probably as soon as she got hired, and even in the interview we talked about doing this and trying to get community involved. Every time they talk to you, they're get your community involved, get your community involved in your school. This is one way we can do it, and I think it'll build as the years go on. People hear that it was actually worth their time, hopefully, and then
just tell people if it wasn't anyway.
Yeah, if it isn't, just lie for us. So, first, she's going to talk about we've had speakers like Karen Hazy. She was one of our school attorneys. Has spoken on a lot of these topics. And Savannah's got a lot of background on it, and she's going to kind of show parents and things to look for, things that, at this day and age, kids are on their cell phones, which is basically a computer in their pocket. They've got a school provides them with a computer in the 712 building, and I know in the elementary they've got access to them. So just things that you can look for and things that might make you more aware of what they're actually doing. And hopefully good things, but I know with technology and the access, it can be negative sometimes. So, Ms. Wakely.
Yep. All right, well, thank you for coming, and hopefully, like Mr. Royal said, didn't really know what to expect, so hopefully I have something that everyone's kind of interested in at some point. So first of all, why we decided to do Community Computer Night is because all ages are using some sort of technology, and we want to make sure everyone knows how to use technology in an appropriate and a safe way. So some of the things I'm going to cover are parental controls, credibility of online information, some security, cyberbullying, mobile devices, and then, of course, social networking, safety, and oversharing. Okay, so parental controls are simply restrictions to help you guard against inappropriate content. So if you have some youngsters at home, you could limit what it is they can access on different devices. For Apple products, such as iPhone, iPad, iPod Touch, they actually have built-in settings for parental controls and restrictions. I'll spell the Apple website here. Okay, so to set restrictions on an Apple product, you would go to your settings app. Do any of you have Apple product, like iPod, so this is relevant? Okay. And you would go to General within your settings, and you have to scroll down a ways, and you'll find Restrictions. Once you click on Restrictions, you'll be able to enable the restrictions, and it's going to have you set a passcode. It's going to be a different passcode than you would have to access your phone, because obviously, if the kids know how to get in the phone, they know that passcode. So it's going to be one that you set, that you know, and hopefully they don't get. Okay, once you enable the restrictions, you can limit almost every app, especially the ones that come on the phone or the device, and then also the content on those devices. Okay, so we live in the United States, we would set the ratings for the United States. If it's music and podcasts, you can limit so that explicit content cannot be played. And the same goes with movies, I'm assuming it's R, PG-13, etc. And if you want to play with that, I have an iPad here afterwards. Okay, unfortunately, Android devices do not have any built-in settings. There are apps that you can get for parental controls and restrictions. There's a few free ones. The free ones that I found were mostly like time limits, so once the time limits reach, they pretty much kick them out. And then there's also some paid apps that you can get that you would have more options with for parental controls. Internet browsers, Firefox and Google Chrome also do not have built-in settings for parental controls. But there are extensions available, and from what I saw, most of them are free, and there's several different choices. It just kind of depends on what age your kids is and what it is you're trying to restrict. Internet Explorer, I can't show you that one because it's for for Windows or PC. It is the one that has built-in restriction options. But when it comes to like viruses and malware, Internet Explorer is the least safe browser and is most susceptible to those. Okay, credibility of online information. When you're surfing the web, you have to be careful about what information it is you're looking at and using as a resource, because anyone can post online. I mean, you don't have to have a degree or be a specialist in your field to create a blog or, post anywhere. So what to look for when you are looking at information online? Is there evidence that the source is credible? So is the author known? What kind of reputation do they have? You might have to open up another tab or a browser window and punch in a Google search of their name to make sure that they have some credibility for the information that they're providing. Is there an organization or a company associated with the information? Usually if there's a company associated with the information that you're getting, it's going to tend to be more reliable because the company has to back up that information that they're providing for you. Okay, and then are there any clues that the information is fraudulent? I have an example here. I just got these emails last week from PayPal. I was freaking out Sunday because I got an email that said, oh, your PayPal account was used from a Windows Google Chrome browser. I was like, oh my gosh, I haven't used my PayPal account. And I started studying the emails more and decided that they were a scam. So here I have a couple of emails that are actually from PayPal. Can you guys see that very well? Oh my. This one. Too much. Is that better? Okay, so these bottom two are actually from PayPal, and then the top two are the fraudulent ones that are not. I'm trying to zoom out so you can still see it. Okay, in the subject line, do you see how there's like space after the subject and then an exclamation point? Okay, so if it's a credible email, there's not going to be grammar errors. Those people are getting paid to send those marketing emails, so they're not going to screw up unless they want to lose their job. So if I open a actual email from PayPal and a fake one. Okay, so this is an actual email from PayPal. You see the PayPal logo. They have some formatting here. And then the fake one, they also have the PayPal logo, so that can be kind of deceiving. And then if you look at the bottom, sometimes you really got to study the emails to decide, if they're fake or not, because they're trying their hardest for you to enter in your personal information so they can screw you over somehow. At the bottom of the emails, the fake one, it just says, sincerely, PayPal support, please do not reply to this email. And then at the bottom of the real PayPal email, there's all sorts of different options. I can unsubscribe from newsletter emails. They have links to their website, so it's actually going somewhere relating back to the company. And then the biggest thing that gave it away was right here. If you went to school and took any English class, you probably know that you wouldn't say informations. Okay, we need to update your informations for further use of your PayPal account. Okay, so they want me to click update now and put in my personal information, and that would not be a good idea.
If you've got questions at all,
Yeah.
feel free to ask.
Stop me.
I know my mom, she got an email about protect, you got this new virus, or it was just popping on her computer, she went to it. Next thing you know, she's got to take her computer in to get fixed for $100 because she got some guy talking to her, and then it's like, Mom, what are you doing? But she just, so it happens pretty easily. And she's talking about anybody can get online. I have a cousin right now that's fighting. He's got a page against his name that says saying he's a pedophile. He's not. It's just he's his daughter's ex-husband is really not happy with him. So she's plastered his name all over the internet saying that, there's nothing they can do because it's crazy now, the things that people can do, not a whole lot you can do about it. So.
Right, and with the security thing, like the viruses popping up, one thing you can do is always make sure you have an antivirus program installed on your computer, and make sure it's a reliable one. If you have Windows Norton antivirus, that's a good one. You just want to make sure that you keep your subscription up to date. Yes, you have to pay for it, but that subscription is probably going to be a lot cheaper than taking to get your computer cleaned out every couple months.
But you don't have virus on that.
That's what I was just going to talk about. For a while, there was a, I don't know if I want to call it a rumor, but they're saying that Apple products or Apple computers could not get viruses. That's not true. They can. There's just a lot less malware programs that are targeting Apple products because, the majority of people do have a Windows or a PC. There are antivirus softwares out there for Macs.
We don't see a whole lot though through the school.
No.
Viruses.
Yeah, I haven't.
I think we probably have a pretty good filter though too at school. When they get home, then they might have a little more access to things.
Right. Yep. Okay. Install that antivirus protection software. And then another thing you can watch for, especially if you're entering in personal information, check out the URL bar, your address of the website that you're at. Some of them will be HTTP, and some of them will be HTTPS. If you're entering in personal information into an HTTP, I wouldn't really suggest that. The S stands for secure. So what is happening is when you send your personal information, it's going to a trusted, credible third party, and they're encrypting it. So anyone that's trying to hack into that site would have a really tough time doing so. So make sure it's the HTTPS. I was just looking at Facebook. There's a lot of personal information on Facebook. That's an HTTPS. Okay, cyberbullying. If you have kids of any age, watch for this. It can be done through email, text, online games, social networking, and it can include stalking, degradation, humiliation, use of photos, harassing. So really make sure if you have kids monitor their use of their social networks or their technology. There's all sorts of apps that you can download on an iPad, iPhone, iPod, where they can socialize with people, and anybody can post things online. Anybody, 40-year-old man can make a profile that he's a 16-year-old boy, and that's a terrifying thing if you're a parent and you find that out. So if you monitor the use and kind of conversations or look for key comments to help keep an eye on that. I have some cyberbullying cases that went to the extreme. Make sure you talk to your kids, let them know that it's okay to come to you if somebody says something or they said something that maybe they realized wasn't very good. Because, if you have no idea what's going on, it'd be a tragedy if it would escalate and take a turn for the worse. These are just different cases of cyberbullying. The majority of these kids, 13 to 7th grader, they ended up committing suicide because, somebody on MySpace told them the world would be a better place without you. And, they got sick of being harassed and didn't want to take it anymore. There's some other cases here where maybe they didn't take their own life, but their reputation is ruined. I have an example of that.
What Karen Hodge recommends, and this is more for parents, is if they're on Facebook, you're their friend, or else they can't be on Facebook.
Yep.
If they're on Instagram or they're friends with you, if the kids don't like it, then fine, then they don't get the device to have it. But she has it set up so when her kids tweet something, it shows them on her phone that your kid just sent a tweet. So if it's something there, she's like, take it down. You can't have that. I have some parents seems like a hover parent, but I've seen enough cases and heard enough cases about some negative things that go on. And I think one of the worst things that they ever did, but still it's an awesome use of technology, is the cameras and the videos on the cell phones. The kids, I don't think they realize the ramifications if they take pictures of themselves or take pictures of other people. I mean, there's cases that if I take a picture of myself and I send it to Brenda, and she sends it to 50 people, well then everybody that gets it is going to be in trouble for getting it and sending it on. Every person you send it on to, that's another count of sending that on. So it's just scary things, and I think kids are susceptible to doing those sort of things.
And even if your kid's friend takes a picture of them and posts it, I mean, your kid can still get in legal trouble. And even though they, didn't have anything to do with the picture, didn't know that it was taken, they can still get in trouble for that. And I have a couple more related cases when I come up to the social networking and oversharing. Mobile devices. Okay, 56% of kids aged 8 to 12 have a cell phone. And if it's like most cell phones anymore, it's probably a smartphone. Smartphones have capabilities just like the World Wide Web. Same goes for tablets and iPods. If there's not those restrictions, if you haven't talked to your kids about the limits, I mean, they can surf the web just like they can from a computer, and there's still all of that inappropriate content. Okay, so I mentioned, monitor use, set time limits. Do your kids get to have their phone while they're doing their homework or when they go to bed? Because everybody knows as soon as they go to bed, they're asleep. Okay, almost 70% of youth admit to hiding online activities. That's a big number. Okay, and if you have open communication, you might be able to prevent some of that hiding of the information. They might make better choices when it comes to online use.
You'd be surprised at the people that I talk to that kids will never have a computer at 3 in the morning. It's like, well, what's their computer doing in their bedroom at 3 in the morning? Take it, But they sneak them, and they got, like I said, their cell phones, and nothing good is going on at 3 in the morning with their computer. So it's a different world now with the technology. You see a flip phone now, you almost get like this dinosaur, because everybody has a smartphone, and they're just that way.
Another thing with mobile devices is that they carry GPS technology. GPS can be great if you're lost, and it can be terrible if you have someone on a social media site that you don't really know, or they have bad intentions. Facebook, let's say we take a trip to Starbucks and we check in at Starbucks, and there's somebody that's out to do bad. They know exactly where we are. We just checked in at Starbucks on whatever street, and your phone can track that. There are restrictions you can set with GPS, and also most apps, when you're using them, it'll pop up and say, this app would like to use your current location, allow, don't allow. There is no reason they need to know exactly where you are. So I would say don't allow. And then another thing would be password protection. There's a lot of personal information on mobile devices, and it might be inconvenient to enter in your password every time you go to unlock your phone. But for your security, for your kids' security, make sure there's a password on those mobile devices. Okay, so social networking, safety, and oversharing. Make sure your kids know that they should only share what they're comfortable with others seeing, and then rethink your comfort level. I read an article a while back. A 13-year-old girl had Facebook, and she didn't think anything of it when she posted pictures of herself in her bikini when she was at the beach. Well, somebody else did think something of it. They right-clicked on the picture, hit save image, and uploaded it to a porn site. This girl's reputation is ruined. I mean, that's what people know her as, and she can't get it back. Once you post it, it's gone. It's no longer yours. You shared it. People can screenshot, save it. I mean, there's all sorts of things they can do. And you just have no control over it, and it spreads like wildfire.
Karen Hodge has a rule, if you wouldn't show it to your grandma, then don't put it out, don't put it out there. If grandma can't see it, then they're probably not put it.
And if you're really close with your grandma, maybe grandma.
Unless your grandma knows where it is. I think one thing too, our kids, they've gotten better, they realize, since we're 1-1 high school, every time they look up anything suspicious, I get an email. I mean, if they look up chicken breast, it'll show up as porn that they looked up chicken breast because it has the word breast in it. But, I mean, we can look up, especially when they're at school, we can look up every keystroke they did on their computer. I mean, once they start realizing that, when I bring them to the office, like, well, what are you doing at 3:20? Look up this. I didn't do that. Like, oh, well, it's right here. And then it spreads pretty fast, and then they start using their computer a little bit more appropriately. But it takes that. I mean, you've got to watch. I mean, if they're given the access to it, they're going to, you think they won't do that,
Because they're not curious at all. Also, might be kind of obvious, but never post social security number, address, phone number on any social media or anywhere online where others can see it. And make sure your kids know that as well. They might not think anything of it, or posting their phone number on Facebook. Oh, you're so cute. Oh, you might pick up my number on Facebook. But that could turn into something really negative. Also, never accept requests of people that you don't know or you don't know well. If you have 0 friends in common and it's some foreign name you can't pronounce, they're probably not somebody you really know. I mean, it's probably a fake profile with a fake person behind it. All right, and then oversharing, it can be very harmful to one's reputation and opportunities. I know Mr. Royals told me before, every applicant he gets here, he goes and looks at their Facebook page. Okay, well, if there was an applicant who had pictures on Facebook doing God knows what, I mean, they're probably not likely to get a job. If your kid goes to apply for a scholarship, people running the scholarships, they could check out the Facebook profile.
College coaches do.
Yep, college coaches. And what kind of character is it showing if your kid has, pictures out partying or whatever? They're probably not going to get that scholarship. They might not get into the college. They might not get that, to be on that athletic team or get the job. Any questions? Okay, I guess that's all I had for my main presentation. We have some breakout sessions if there's something you're interested in knowing more about. Bree has everything Google. Brenda has some elementary resources. Jeff has how to access students' grades online. And then if you have any questions you want to shoot at me, I'll be here. I'll do my best to answer them. If I can't answer them now, I'll write it down, I'll get your email address or something and get back to you on it. Also, feel free to take one of those booklets if you didn't take one. There's a lot of really great information in them. And there's more information through FTC, where the books came from, onguardonline.gov. And then my email is up there also if you have any further questions.
Great job.